Hundreds demonstrating outside the Bangladeshi High Commission in India's capital, demanding accountability from Dhaka over what they are alleging are atrocities carried out against Hindu minorities. Indian paramilitary troops deployed to contain crowds led by prominent organizations, and they include the Vishya Hindu Parishad, protesters demanding justice after the killing of a Hindu garment worker in Bangladesh's Mymensingh city last week. Dipu Chandra was reportedly killed and set on fire over what was then cited as blasphemy allegations. Anger over the garment worker's death not confined to the capital. Hindu activists in Kolkata blocked from marching towards the Bangladesh Deputy High Commission. Dhaka summoning the Indian envoy, citing concern over security of Bangladeshi missions, while also temporarily suspending visa services in Delhi. Ties between the neighbours have deteriorated since ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fled the pro-democracy uprising last year, seeking refuge in India. And Ishan Garg is tracking this story for CNA. He joins us live from New Delhi. Ishan, the killing of the Hindu garment worker last week, how is that linked to what we're seeing in protests today?
Well, when Mr. Das, who was allegedly attacked by a mob in Dhaka, was killed, and he was killed, reports say, outside the factory and then set on fire. That has sparked outrage here in India. We have seen very strong criticism coming from the official circles as well, with the Indian Ministry of External Affairs saying that they have taken this issue at the highest possible level, and they strongly criticize what they say attacks against minorities, which are we have seen in multiple reports continuing over the past few months. What we saw in New Delhi was a protest organized by right-wing pro-Hindu groups, including the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Bajrang Dal. And this protest was organized outside the High Commission of Bangladesh here in New Delhi. We saw protesters gathering outside barricades, and as we understand, 3 separate layers of barricades were set up. And at some point, the protesters managed to break through those barricades, and then the situation was gradually brought under control by the police. We also saw similar protests in multiple other parts of the country, where we saw people demanding accountability for the death of the victim in Bangladesh. They have also been strongly criticizing the interim government chief in Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, saying that he is responsible for not bringing the perpetrators of this attack to justice. What we have also seen is that the High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Mr. Pranay Verma, he has been summoned to the Foreign Affairs Ministry in Dhaka, and as we understand, he has been asked to ensure that the safety of Bangladeshi officials, the diplomats here, and the High Commission here, that is upheld.
Apart from speaking at those levels, what else, what other diplomatic pressure is New Delhi exerting on Bangladesh to ensure what it considers the safety of Hindu minorities?
Well, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs has said that they have taken up the issue of attacks against Hindu minorities at the very highest levels. And in the past few days and weeks, we have seen a change of tone in the way the ministry has been criticizing these attacks. We are now seeing a sharper language being used by the ministry, which suggests the fact that behind closed doors, there's obviously diplomacy doing its work. But also in public, India is ramping up the pressure on Dhaka to ensure that these attacks are stopped. And this incident is not the first incident that we have seen in the last few months, and this isn't the first time the ministry has said that it has taken up the matter with the highest officials in Bangladesh as well. These incidences seemingly have become more frequent since Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was ousted from Bangladesh. Since then, we have seen a rise in anti-India sentiments there, which has, experts say, resulted in attacks against Hindu minorities there as well. We're also seeing that the Indian diplomatic mission, they have reduced some of their services, with some visa services, consular services in the Chittagong visa station being reduced, and they are being suspended until further notice. So this is another way of of India trying to work diplomacy by exerting more pressure on Bangladesh. But for now, the situation really remains on the volatile situation in Dhaka there. And we understand, because the government has said this in a written reply to the parliament, that it is very closely monitoring the reports of attacks against Hindu minorities, and not only on the individuals, but it's also tracking the reports of attacks against businesses that are working in Bangladesh and also places of worship that belong to the Hindu community there.
Professor Ishan Garg there reporting live from New Delhi.